the high seas. Pisces, cast my line, now they're biting. Yeah, rocky coasts and lighthouses. What she knows now, I doubt it. Talk to me nice. I think your confusion starts with street lights.
Hi Gemini, welcome to your November 2018 reading. Sorry it's late, guys. I realize it's late, but I'm here now and I'm able to do the reading, so hopefully it was worth the wait. November. So November, we've got Scorpio and Sagittarius energy, guys. So Scorpio is your 6th house of service, lifestyle, health, even your job. So we've got all that transformation and death energy centered around your guys' lifestyles, your health even, and, you know, the service that you offer other people. So to me, it would not be surprising if Geminis are going through some sort of transformation of their life, or the way you guys live your life, your daily routines. That would be up for transformation, death, and rebirth, especially towards the beginning of November. But now that we've reached more of the, I would say, middle of November, we're approaching Sagittarius season. So this has everything to do with your lifestyle and your relationships. Maybe this has to do with the health of some of your guys' relationships. How you fit relationships and love and partnerships into your daily routine, Gemini. How does that kind of balance out? We're going to be heading into the opposite sign of you, Sagittarius, at the end of the month, which now has Jupiter there. Mercury's going to be there. The sun and the moon are going to be there eventually. So all of this energy, you know, it's all going to move towards the relationship house for you, which is an opposing energy. So, you know, it may be a bit compromising. It may be a little bit of a struggle when we deal with oppositions. But it is a good time to compromise and meet energies in the middle and learn about your shadow side. Every Gemini can benefit from that. So, most important thing I can kind of talk to you guys about for November, it would be the full moon happening in your guys' sign. Prepare for the emotion, okay? Full moons in our first houses, that causes emotion, all right? So just be prepared to mingle with the moon. Now this is air energy, so you know it's going to be more about communication and our thoughts, but Gemini, you may feel a bit of emotion, especially because the next moon is going to be on the south and on the north node. So you're kind of the last normal full moon until we get into the eclipse energy and Leo energy and all that. Okay, so just prepare to be, you know, filled with light when it comes to the full moon. And also your ruling planet Mercury is going retrograde on the 17th. It's probably already retrograding, so just, I feel like there's going to be a lot of focus on communication, Gemini, which you guys should be rather good at, okay? So that's just a little bit of astrology at the beginning of the video. I've already shuffled and I have the Lovers card here to represent your guys' energy. So before we shuffle and get your reading, I just wanted to take a look at what is behind you as far as immediate energies in November. So right behind you, Gemini, we have the 5 of Wands. I just did the Taurus reading. You could very well be dealing with conflict with a Taurus this month, or fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. But, you know, this may be a month where you're dealing with the opinions of others. To me, the 5 of Wands is always 5 different people with 5 different ways of expressing themselves and 5 different opinions. And, you know, this is just a situation that's filled with conflict and fire, which is not a good combination. So maybe there's some conflict centered around the way you're expressing yourself in November. Lots of different, and even the universe feels like this right now, Gemini. So, you know, just kind of hang in there when it comes to certain conflicts. You do have significant fire energy. The first 2 cards are fire cards, Gemini. So this could definitely be expression energy, your passionate levels, your desire, or Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Now, it looks to me as if there's been some conflict after a crossroads, okay? Because this is the card that comes up after the 2 of Wands, where there's a man, similar to this one, who's on the top of a balcony with the world in his hands, and he's reflecting, and he's got a decision to make between comfort and growth. Okay, so the Three of Wands is an indication that someone has already made that difficult choice. They've already chose their path, or the path has chosen them, and now you're just waiting for your ships to come in. So there may be some conflict, Gemini, when it comes to waiting for your ships to come in. Yeah, you're waiting on something, and that may be causing conflict. Okay, it could have to do with a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Maybe it has to do with your emotions. Maybe it has to do with a water sign individual who has something to do with these ships coming in. But the King of Cups is anyone's energy. This is just a representation of someone who has control over their emotions. Someone who is a leader spiritually and emotionally and empathically. He's emotionally available until he knows it benefits him to be not so emotionally available. This could be a male that some of you are dealing with. It could be a masculine energy that some of you are dealing with. The King of Cups, to me, he's a compassionate guy. This is some more sensitive energy. So some of you guys could be dealing with a fire sign coming in. Maybe a Leo. We do have Leo showing up very strongly for some of you Gemini. So if you're a Gemini dealing with a Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, they are showing up. But this is also talking about your strength, Gemini. The Strength card comes up for courageousness, you know, and having the strength and courage to move forward. And in this case, towards your passions, whether they make intellectual sense or not, whether they make logical sense or not. The Knight of Wands just kind of moves. This is Sagittarius energy. So this could be Sagittarius season charging in, and you know that you're going to need strength. This is like needing emotional strength, basically. So we have a significant Leo showing up here. Maybe there's something coming in pretty quickly in November. A lot of fire. I mean, we've got all these fire, and then emotions, and then air. Queen of Swords is the underlying energy here right now. This is just what's going on immediately in November, right behind you, Gemini. So what we have here is a situation that is either dealing with a Leo. Maybe it's something that needs to be tamed. Okay, but we do have a significant Leo energy showing up in November. And if it is a Leo, they could be charging in pretty quickly with expression and creativity. I don't see this as a bad thing at all. I think that this is, you know, all Geminis requiring very fast, strong energies in November, and to express yourself in a stronger way too, air sign. Expressing yourself in a stronger way, perhaps more like your fire sign oppositions. But this is fast movement, you know, movement towards what you're passionate about, movement towards a vision. It's a Sagittarius for some of you, but needing to have the strength to move forward in that way because of some kind of emotional stability. Maybe it has to do with a water sign for some of you, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Maybe this is Scorpio season for some of you. But what I really see here, this is the immediate message. This can be applied in many different ways. But for all Geminis, I'm going to go ahead and say that November is centered around some kind of conflict. Okay, maybe this has to do with certain groups of people, but there's 5 people here. And maybe some of you guys are dealing with that when it comes to distance in your relationships, or just maybe it's in the way of your connections or something like that. But I do feel that some of you guys are waiting to see your ships come in after a major decision to either grow or to remain comfortable. Maybe you guys are conflicted still about a decision you made. Because this is someone who made a decision, maybe about a fire sign. Maybe it was about some kind of creativity or passion. But Gemini is definitely dealing with some kind of 5 of Wands conflict argument energy. Maybe this is just all the energy around you, Gemini, with this full moon buzzing at the end of the month. You know, there's just lots of different sides of you coming out. There's a confliction when it comes to distance, maybe even a third party, or a decision that you have to make in a relationship too, Gemini. That's sometimes what the Lovers card means. So that could be what some of you guys are dealing with in November. Remember, this is all about your 6th house and your 7th house energies here in November. So it is going to become more about relationships than it becomes about, you know, your health and service and stuff like that. But let's get shuffling, see what comes out for you, Gemini. We're going to get 8 cards. So let's see what's going on for the sign of Gemini. I do believe your first 4 cards just came out. So more than half of them are 10s. So this is also a very, very filled month of completions for you, Gemini. We have the 10 of Cups. This just came out for Taurus as well. The first card out for Taurus was the 10 of Cups. So you could be dealing with a Taurus. Or an Aquarius. I see Aquarius sticking out over here, the Star card, and the Queen of Pentacles. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn or a Virgo too. 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, 10 of Swords. Confusion. Lots of different options. Okay, not all that glitters is gold. So we'll talk about that 7 of Cups here in a minute. That's the 7 of Cups is kind of a bonus message when it comes to the cards that popped out. So November is filled with, you're dealing with a lot of energies, Gemini, that are almost complete, which can be centered around, I can see why there'd be anxiety in the middle of all that, because it's like you have decisions to make now. When it comes to, you know, the Ace is coming up, because the card after this would be the Ace of Cups. The card after this will be the Ace of Pentacles. The card after this will be the Ace of Swords. So there's new beginnings coming in mentally. There's new beginnings coming in financially, especially when it comes to family matters. This is really strong energy about home. It's strong energy about family and relationships, okay? Lots of completions. Some of you guys could be moving. Some of you could be dealing with financial completions. But there's decisions to make, Gemini, about how you're going to start now. How are you going to start over? And this is full moon territory. Taurus is going through that now too, because their full moon was right before yours. Full moons bring beginnings and completions. And now we have this new moon back there. So maybe your decision time span is, you know, the Sagittarius new moon at the beginning of December. You may have to decide something on that new moon. Or maybe the full moon or the new moon in Sag. There's like a 2-week period in between those things. So you have something to choose between. Maybe some of you are choosing between an earth sign and an air sign. Maybe you have a decision to make. It's a very painful decision. It's a hard decision this month for some of you. That has to do with home life, family life, finances. And, you know, you could be a bit confused, Gemini. You may have a lot of options. Okay, even one of these options talk about money. There's another option that has a home in it. So it's just about weighing your options while you're confused. And again, more conflict here. For some of you, this is conflict because of a broken heart. You know, some of you guys just don't want to fight anymore. Because this is like laying down your sword card, even though this guy always wants to fight. Now, this could have to do with the past. Maybe it has to do with money coming in from your past. For some of you, with an Aries or with a boss figure. Maybe this is an opportunity coming in from your past or from a person in your past. Maybe it has to do with children. Okay. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy again. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But this is definitely lifestyle energy for some of you. That 6th house transit you went through with Scorpio energy. You know, that definitely killed some things. That definitely transformed some things. So let's get 4 more cards for Gemini. For November 2018, we have the 8 of Swords coming up underneath the 10 of Cups in Judgment. Okay, second opportunity to leave here. Somebody is leaving. Maybe this is that full moon. I feel like this is a message about the Gemini full moon. You guys might feel a reckoning or a awakening on that Gemini full moon. You may feel compelled to walk away from certain things. I'm telling you, man, the full moon, that's no joke. When the moon is full in your sign, you are the main player. And this may persuade Gemini to leave for a higher calling. I see you looking up at this full moon, and this is at the end of the month, okay? It's after Thanksgiving. The Gemini full moon is on the 23rd. So while everyone's eating and hanging out with family, there's this insane energy of communication. So I think some of us are going to deal with, not necessarily you, Gemini, but just certain families are going to deal with communication errors this month, especially with Mercury retrograde. You know, so we have a judgment call here. That moon, that full moon in Gemini is going to be a judgment call for you guys. Especially for those of you who feel trapped in a home environment. You know, the moon comes in our sign to complete all things. You know, anything is up for completion when there's a full moon in our first house. Okay, so let's get a card to put underneath the Ten of Pentacles for Gemini. Tell me more about the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, well, we're going to have to put these two cards underneath the Ten of Pentacles. But we have the Knight of Cups and the Two of Cups. So for some of you, it definitely is a choice between two different people. Maybe it's a choice between staying single, staying abundant, or, you know, getting in a relationship. Because some of you guys are just fine in the gilded cage. Some of you are just fine feeling trapped as long as you're trapped in a situation that feels good. Some of you are trapped financially with a Taurus. Some of you are just trapped in a commitment. Alright, but I see some battles going on here. This must be when everything enters that 7th house of yours, Gemini. You know, you can chill and be detached as like an air sign until that seventh house comes calling. Until that moon, that full moon is going to be a judgment call. Here's Pisces, Cancer energy, and the need to communicate about all that energy. We just had the Queen of Pentacles and the Fool pop out. So new financial beginnings, maybe a risk you're taking with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Tell me more about the Two of Swords for Gemini. What do we have for Gemini for November 2018? The King of Pentacles. So we just went from the Queen of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. Some of you are definitely dealing with twin flames, soulmates, energies. Some of you are dealing with a Virgo, for sure, because I just seen the Virgo card. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Pentacles, Gemini. So there's an underlying energy of your own stability, especially with a Taurus. So your financial commitments, or some of you are committed to being single, because the Hierophant is usually a commitment, some kind of tradition, and the Nine of Pentacles is a woman who's single. Some of you are dealing with a single Taurus or something, a Taurus that is newly single, or, you know, just committing to yourself. Okay, the Nine of Pentacles is that single energy, that independent energy. A lot of you are really focused on that, okay? So we've got a story here, Gemini, that is going to relate to all of you in a different way. Let's just take it from the beginning, which is the Ten of Cups. This tells me that in November, Gemini will be dealing with certain matters of the home. You will be dealing with certain emotions. Something has come to a completion emotionally. This is all about emotional fulfillment. We've got children there. Okay, we've got a relation. This is a relationship sometimes, but it's abundance in all areas of life. Home, family, relationship, emotions. It's a very beautiful card. But it is an indication that something has come to a completion, especially because we have 10, 10, and 10 in a decision in that, okay? A decision in the middle, a financial decision. Some of you have a financial decision to make. Maybe it's to keep working where you work or to move on to something else. That's going to be one of the ultimate decisions for Gemini this month, especially after Scorpio season, because that will be your 6th house of work and your job and stuff. So the first two cards, they're 10s. Remember, all 4 of these came out at the same time. So maybe we should talk about them all together. We have a very painful decision here to make for some of you. Maybe some of you made the decision to end something in November, whether it was a relationship or a job or something. You know, it once brought you a lot of emotional fulfillment and financial stability, but now you have a decision to end it all because someone feels trapped. There's definitely new love coming in for you, Geminis, at the end of the month for sure. So it's really interesting there that we have all these endings. Okay, this is the moon, I'm telling you. This feels like the moon's influence. Underneath the Ten of Cups, underneath this happy home environment and stability, family is coming up a lot for Gemini. We have this Eight of Swords. So when the Eight of Swords shows up with the Ten of Cups, this tells me that someone's feeling unhappy in a home environment. Someone's feeling mentally trapped. They can't see, they can't move, even though this is just toilet paper that's binding this woman down. So the way forward in this mental prison, you know, some of you guys are really in a gilded cage situation, which is a prison that's comfortable. So it doesn't really feel, this woman can't see that she's in a jail because it's comfortable, right? But if she were to pay attention to her mind and to what she feels and the clarity of her emotion, then the universe would be giving her signs that this is unhealthy. You know, this is just something here. This is something here that you guys are feeling trapped in. The Eight of Swords only comes up for people who are having mental anxiety. They've been thinking the same thoughts for at least 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, and now they've created this prison inside their mind. Some of you are stuck within a marriage or stuck in a family situation when there is this opportunity to reconcile at the end of November with someone. I think you guys are dealing with another person. Some of you are dealing with 2 other people because we have this love offer coming in, okay, for Gemini at the end of the month. Let's finish this row first, though. We move into the Ten of Pentacles, which is a more stable version of the Ten of Cups. It's not feelings or emotion. This is money. This is finances. This is, you know, the realistic logic of grounded energy, inheritance, generations, the stability of your home in the long run, okay? This always reminds me of Capricorn energy because of the 10, and it's about stability in the future. You know, will my grandchildren's grandchildren be okay? There's an energy like that surrounding your home in November. The stability of your home is coming up here, Gemini, and the fact that very soon there needs to be some kind of newness in the job department or in the home environment. Okay, but right now the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles looks real good. Like anybody could stay there. If that's torture, chain me to the wall, you know? Like if that's prison, then hey, you know, no wonder there's this Nine of Pentacles prison here, because it's the gilded cage. It feels good to be trapped in that kind of energy. But we have the 2 blindfolded women cards coming up. These are the 2 women in the deck that have blindfolds on. So there's really something you're not seeing in November, Gemini. Maybe the full moon is going to help you see. Maybe it's time to take the blindfold off mentally, because there's something that you're thinking, but you're not seeing it. And in both of these cards, I always say these 2 women, they're ignoring their emotion. Now, you are an air sign, Gemini. Though your thoughts change rapidly because of that mutable energy, your mind and your thoughts are pretty, I would say, understandable by you, okay? You're an air sign, so you're detached and you have clarity. So it's very easy for you to put these emotions in the back burner. But look at all those ripples back here. There's definitely some emotions you've turned your back on. And in this card, this woman is deliberately ignoring what she feels. She's ignoring the water here. She's not grounding herself in her emotion. And that's why there's mental confliction here. Mental, trapped, prison energy. And on top of all that, you have no clarity to move forward. So you could just be confused about, you know, where to go from here. After November, you're going to realize there's so many things that are just over. Relationships, situations, jobs, lots of stuff. For many of you, I do feel this is a financial decision because we have the 2 of Swords. This is like a stalemate, a crossroads, a fork in the road, whatever. You know, this is someone who just doesn't really want to see something or make a decision yet, similar to Eight of Swords. And it's by the Ten of Pentacles, it's by the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. So there might be a painful ending here, maybe even some financial betrayal for some of you. A decision to make between intellect and logic. A decision to make between a family environment, the stability of your home, and something that's really painful. I do see a painful ending here. We have no fire energy. I'm just realizing that. So there may be something here about a missing fire energy, either a missing Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. Or maybe there's some missing passion. Like, what are you passionate about, Gemini? Are you passionate about this new job offer coming in December time, even end of November, December? Are you passionate about this new love coming in? This new project you start at the end of the month? Are you passionate about this this Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn woman or man? There is a financial decision here to start something new for sure with this King of Pentacles. There's a decision to start something new with at least 3 different areas of your whole life. And it may be, it may have to do with ending something, Gemini, because there's so many endings and completions here. You know, it's basically time to step up to the aces. The only 10 you're missing is the 10 of Wands. So maybe you're not so much burdened by this. That might be why the 10 of Wands is missing. There's still, maybe you still feel responsible for something. You still feel burdened by this. So, you know, you haven't yet made this decision, but there is decisions coming up, especially with your family, your job, some kind of financial decision. There's definitely a decision to make where it's going to involve starting over completely. So remember, you have a decision to make between comfort and growth. Comfort will be here. Comfort will be here. Okay, but there may be a new commitment financially coming up. And definitely a decision. This is all in your hands, Gemini. This is the decision. And so, yeah, someone feels trapped in an emotional situation, a family situation. Someone feels trapped where they are because of, you know, the stability of their home environment for their family, for their young ones, for their kids or whatever, or just family, extended family even. This is like a financial obligation that someone feels trapped in, I feel. Or maybe when it comes to the emotional fulfillment and happiness in your home environment, you just feel stuck. You just feel trapped inside your own mind, like you can't see or you can't move towards what you want. And so we have underneath the 10 of Pentacles, so this completion when it comes to family and when it comes to finances, maybe even a job for some of you. This is that Knight of Cups, could be dealing with a Pisces or a Cancer or a Scorpio. But we have 2 water here, so this is some emotion coming in here. And this is a relationship, maybe dealing with a Leo for some of you with that lion there. Some of you, this is someone coming in at some point in November to offer you a second chance. Like, hey, you know, still have feelings for you, Gemini. Because the 2 of Cups is sometimes a reconciliation. 2 people coming back together. But this is a really passionate relationship. Both of them have a cup. Both of them are openly sharing their emotion. This is an offer. Now, the Knight of Cups is movement. So some of you guys could just be moving emotionally in the current relationships you have and taking steps closer to romantically, you know, combining your energy with each other. Now, you guys are the twins, right? You guys are the Lovers card. So that energy is really intense with a Gemini, and it needs to be some kind of energy like this where there's a strong emotional bond. But there's some kind of love offer, Gemini, that you have a decision to make about, because the 2 of Cups is sometimes a decision in a relationship or a love decision. We do have a love decision. For some of you, it has to do with the Pisces. Maybe it has to do with your family. But we have a few different decisions here, Gemini. I think for some of you, you could be the Knight of Cups. You could be offering someone a chance to reconcile. And this doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be a creative project, because the Knight of Cups is someone who moves towards what he feels. He doesn't care if it makes sense. He's kind of like the Knight of Wands, but slower and more charming and more sensitive. So this is just movement emotionally, and it has to do directly with a relationship. And for some of you, it even has to do with this 10 of Pentacles up here. Completions in your relationships. A choice to move towards emotion and away from this trapped energy. Now, we have the King of Pentacles here, so it could be dealing with an earth sign, male for sure. Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But this could be your guys' energy too, just trying to put your foot down financially in the home environment. I do see that there's a decision linked to this King of Pentacles. So there's a very financial decision that you have to make now when it comes to finances or the stability of your home. The King of Pentacles, you know, he does have to decide sometimes. He has to make financial decisions. He's like an executive. I'm hearing an executive. This could be a boss figure for some of you. I'm sensing Capricorn here. There's like a very Capricorn decision. And this could definitely have something to do with love for some of you. Or I do see money for sure. Old money, new money. You know, maybe someone's offering love to an earth sign here. And it's interesting. This may be a new endeavor, because we end the reading with the 8 of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles, which is this is while you're away at work. To me, this man is away at work. So there might be a man who is away at work in November, and that might be causing some of you guys pain. There might be a painful ending to someone who works away from home, even though that made a lot of money. That could be what this whole thing is about. Someone who's going through job changes, so now they have to be more of an entrepreneur. This guy makes his own money, but he does spend time away from home-like energies. Even if he works from home, he's like, even if he works from home, there's something that his work takes away. Like maybe it's from his relationship or his children or something, but this is someone who's putting in a lot of hard work. It's worth it to be away from whatever it is, Gemini, because of how much you're seeing come from it. So I do see an ending here and the start to something new. So that's very interesting. You have, maybe there's some kind of financial project that you're starting at the end of November that you gain a lot of focus on. A lot of effort being put in here. And it's interesting, the next card after the Eight of Pentacles would be the Nine of Pentacles, and that's what we have as your overall energy. There's an overall energy of someone who's single here, someone who's abundant and independent, someone who's in their own garden of finances. But this is also the Gilded Cage card. So someone definitely feels trapped financially in a home, and it could have to do with a Taurus, it could have to do with a commitment, a marriage, it could have to do with someone's beliefs, someone's tradition, okay? Single, committed, very opposite energies. Some of you, one of your twins wants to be committed and married and all that. The other twin wants to be completely alone in their own garden. We do have some financial anxieties coming up here. This is another card that came up for Taurus's reading. So the fact that both of these cards are coming up, like maybe there's some kind of financial commitment here that has something to do with being left out in the cold by a Taurus, being left out in the cold in a marriage. There's some battles here. We have the Nine of Wands now. Some of you, there might be a Sagittarius that there's these battles with. Or maybe you're just being told to stay patient when it comes to mental anxiety. But Sagittarius showed up for you, Gemini. This is your opposite energy, Archangel Michael. Okay, trying new things, balancing the spiritual and the physical. Okay, alchemy, testing. Now, there's some kind of battle here that you need to stay patient with, especially with your mental anxiety. Because whatever you're waiting for, Gemini, it's coming in. It's just coming in a bit slower. But it is coming in. I see the Knight of Pentacles here. Some of you have Virgo-related anxiety. But we have this Nine of Swords. Comes right after the Eight of Swords. So there's mental anxiety. Some of you aren't sleeping well at night. Some of you are having nightmares and insomnia. Maybe some of you aren't sleeping at all. Maybe it has to do with the Sagittarius. Maybe this is Sagittarius season that comes in. And that's when some of these final boss battles come up. This is someone who's kind of ready to fight again, okay? They're very close to winning the war. But you're needing to stay patient in the battles you're facing, Gemini, in November. Especially if they're battles financially, if there's some homeless energy or just worried about how you're going to make ends meet, feeling left out in the cold, like you're fighting all on your own. You know, staying committed to what surrounds you of value and abundance. Now we have a Taurus here coming up strongly. There might be a Taurus that was left out in the cold, or you left out in the cold by a Taurus. And single energy, this is all about your independence. Staying committed to your independence. Asking yourself, maybe you guys have a decision to make between being committed and being single. Being committed to yourself or being committed to other people as well. Definitely love offer coming in with this Two of Cups and this Knight of Cups. That to me is a very clear indication. For some of you it's a Leo. Maybe it's a Pisces, maybe it's a Scorpio or a Cancer. But maybe this is just an offer. But it does look like for most of you this is an offer to reconcile, or it's an offer of love. It's an offer of love that comes in when you get to that 7th house energy. And it leads into this King of Pentacles and this Eight of Pentacles. You know, putting a lot of earthly, logical effort into something for the outpay. But you have a decision to make before all that happens, Gemini. And it has to do with a completion. Something that you know has come to a completion. Love, relationships, family, home environments. The stability of your home is coming up. Decisions to make financially. Some of you, you know, you may have to change jobs or something. There might just be some changes that happen financially in November where you're questioning the stability of your home and how to start new. There's definitely the ending in November to something really painful. This is your energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Maybe being stabbed in the back before. This may involve finances for some of you, being stabbed in the back financially before, and you may have a decision to make. Like, do I continue working on this with this King of Pentacles, this situation that I know is over? It's like you have to decide now, Gemini, to end this. There's something in November that won't end unless Gemini makes the decision to end it. That is before the moon comes in, especially that Sagittarius new moon. That's when the blindfolds must come off. That full moon is going to really awaken Gemini to some of that deep emotion. That'll help you choose. That'll help you see clearly what you feel about all these completions and this newness trying to come in. But ultimately, yes, Gemini, I think there's just energy here about, you know, being secluded, working on your own or something like that, keeping your own independence in check, but then, you know, other people coming in as well to the situation. But being that King of Pentacles authority figure, stable. There's an earth sign male here for sure that some of you may work with. Some of you may have earth sign energy. Definitely a decision to make about an earth sign or about home, about family, about a boss. I'm not sure. Finances though. Decision, finances. Also, something may have happened painful. It may have come to an ending, but it's like at the end of the month, you're still working on it. This is, like I said, someone who travels for work or something like that. So there might have been something painful that happened while someone was away at work. Maybe there was someone who betrayed someone while they're away at work, and that's why now there's this single energy coming in and this Taurus energy, a new commitment to yourself after being left out in the cold to fight everything on your own, Gemini. I mean, the most interesting thing about your reading, I would say, is all the tens. You got 3 tens in the first row of your reading, and the only 10 you're missing is the 10 of Wands. And just keep in mind that there is no fire in your reading. You have cups, you have coin, you have swords, but you don't have any wands. So you may not be manifesting as much, which you should, especially with that full moon. Perfect time to mentally manifest. There may be something about Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy that is like the missing element. Now, remember, you guys are represented by the Magician. So you guys understand that there is benefit to all the elements. In fire, without fire, you know, you can't really express yourself. You can't really create. You don't really have the essence of life. So that might be the missing element that helps you with this decision, which is why there's a new moon there. The Sagittarius new moon is the missing element that will help you ultimately, your shadow side basically. When the full moon in Gemini happens and then the new moon in Sagittarius, that may help you make a grounded decision like the King of Pentacles would, female or male, it doesn't matter. Especially when it helps you move forward after these strong endings that this moon is going to bring in. So, hopefully that helped, Gemini. I have been thinking this whole time that if I just pick up this deck, it would reveal the 10 of Wands. That is exactly what just happened. So there's the 10 of Wands. That is a now part of your reading. You have all the 10s, Gemini. So there is a burden. There is a significant burden here. And those are the burdens are karmically being assessed. We have Libra and Scorpio showing up for you. So what this tells me is that Gemini full moon, you are going to be transforming finally. There's going to be endings and new beginnings and a rebirth that happens with that full moon. And these burdens are definitely, they're being karmically analyzed by Libra energy, by a judge's energy. You're balancing out. Maybe some of you are dealing with a Libra or a Scorpio, because we just had those two signs come up. But here's that final 10 for you, Gemini. I don't know what compelled me to do that, but I've thought a couple times to just split the deck and see what comes up. So now you have the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. So it looks like no matter what, Gemini, there's some completions of cycles in November for you. Okay? And that means that the only way to go from here is to decide to start new, which is an Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands. New beginnings, new adventures. Because, you know, it's been a year since we've had a Gemini full moon, and now we've reached that point again, and it's time to make some decisions about life, Gemini. And, you know, you're a dual sign, so you can handle these twos better than anyone else. So you know how to kind of weigh out the energies. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the reading. Let me know what you thought, and if you have any questions, comment below. So I'll actually be doing a video for the Gemini full moon, so I'll see you guys there. And if I don't, I will see you guys in December. See ya.